Hey folks, Pastor Jordan here, bringing you this week's sermon preview. Wishing you all a blessed and very happy and hope-filled Easter week. I hope that you had a blessed celebration on Sunday. Many of you were with us here for our first outdoor worship service of the year, and it was just an absolutely wonderful morning. A little chilly, but the folks that sat down on the pavement in the driveway that we had roped off kept nice and warm as that sun warmed up the asphalt. So it was really nice to be able to have folks gathered out here around the gazebo again for worship. We'll continue to do that any Sunday that it's not rainy, snowy, or otherwise too cold, which we hope are most of the Sundays coming forward. We did check the weather for this week, and it does look like Sunday's the only rainy day of the week. So we're having absolutely beautiful weather today. It's a gorgeous sunny day here in the springtime, but this Sunday is going to be rainy, so we will be worshiping indoors. You are welcome to join us. We have plenty of room, even with the social distancing requirements that we're meeting. So there's plenty of room for you to come and join us for worship if you'd like to. It's not going to be super cold, so we will have the windows open for ventilation, and there's marked off spaces for you to sit, and there's some good folks that help you come in the door and get your temperature checked and all that good stuff, and guide you around so you don't have to worry too much about what you got to do. They'll be there to help you out. So if you would like to join us for worship, please do so this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. We will be indoors, as the forecast right now is rain. If something were to change and the forecast turns around and it happens to be decent weather, we'll quick on the fly move outside, and I'll let you all know. But right now it looks like that's the way it's going to go. So join us for worship that way. If you're not able to be with us in person, then we will be broadcasting right here on this YouTube channel, as always, assuming I push all the right buttons. Our tech guy is on vacation this week, which is good. He's getting a little bit of time off, but that means I'm the button pusher, so hopefully I will push them correctly, and we will have the service out on the YouTube channel. He's got my back in case something goes wrong, so we should be good. But you can join us online or in person on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, in person at the church or on our YouTube channel. You can also get everything you need as far as materials for the worship service, the bulletin, hymns, and all that good stuff. You can find that over at our website, westgrc.org, and we have all of that stuff posted there, along with some announcements that typically would go in the bulletin, so you can kind of keep pace of what's going on. We know it's a little harder without regular weekly gatherings to keep the word out about what's happening. So pop on over there and check things out at our website. We invite you to do so. This is the first Sunday after Easter, and so we're going to be looking at some stories of that time period between the resurrection and the ascension in the upcoming Sundays. And so this Sunday we hear that story of the walk to Emmaus. Many of you are familiar with that story. There's two unnamed disciples of Jesus Christ who are sharing the road together as they walk this long journey to Emmaus. And as they're walking, they're approached by this third person, and this third individual kind of comes along beside them and asks them some questions, and then this person begins to teach them. And as they approach the evening time, they invite this person to stay with them for the evening on their journey. And it's while they're sitting and talking and listening to this person that their hearts are opened, their eyes and spirits and minds are opened by the speaking of this individual, only then for them to, at the very end of the moment, find out that this was the risen Lord Jesus Christ. You see, his identity somehow was hidden to them. They didn't know that it was Jesus. They couldn't recognize him, perhaps, or perhaps there was some sort of a veil of understanding that had been placed over them. Either way, they didn't recognize that it was him until at that very end of his time with them before he disappeared. He exposed his identity so that they realized in that moment that it was Jesus, the risen Lord, with them in that time. And then they think back, oh my goodness, listen, all those things that he said to us. And they say, weren't our hearts burning inside us when Jesus was teaching us, right? And so what we're going to look at this week is, what are those moments like in our lives when Jesus is there, but maybe we don't recognize it? Right? Have you had times like that? We'll bring up some examples of those kinds of times in your life, those seasons in your life. I think back to that old, and many of you know this because you probably have the same poster. Maybe you still have it in your house. The story of the footprints, right? And I remember it was posted, sort of in our back hallway in my house growing up, and it's that story that many of us know, and it's got a set of footprints in the sand on the beach, and there are two, and then there are just one track of footprints. And the story goes that a person was walking with God beside them, and that was the two tracks of footprints. And then this person encounters a difficult time in their life, and it's at that point that the single track of footprints goes down to one. And the person asks God, why at the most difficult time in my life did you leave my side? And the Lord responds, I did not leave you. It was at that time that I picked you up and carried you. And that was what left the one track of footprints. So many of you are familiar with that story. Many of you maybe even have a poster similar to the one that we had in our house when I was growing up. And that's the story that we're hearing today, is that there's times when we don't even recognize that it's Jesus in our lives. We don't notice Jesus' presence until we look back and say, oh my goodness, that was how the Lord worked in my life. And so I will invite you to think about that this week. What are some of those ways that you've seen Jesus interacting in your life? And then you look back and realize, oh my goodness, that was a God moment in my life. That was the time that I was carried, or that was the time that I was taught, or that was the time that I was propelled forward, whatever it might be. You see, so I invite us to think about that as we listen to the story of these two walking on the road to Emmaus this week, and how they encounter the risen Lord Jesus Christ. May we, as well as God's people, also encounter the risen Lord Jesus Christ in unexpected and wonderful ways. I hope you have a blessed Thursday. It's a gorgeous day. Get outside if you at all possibly can, and soak up this weather. It's been a long, cold and difficult winter, and now the sun is out, and it's a blessing. And it's Easter, and it's resurrection, and the flowered cross is out in front of the church. I didn't go over there for the video because there's too many flies. They're getting the garden beds ready for the ladies and men that'll be working in the gardens and planting those coming up soon. But you can see the flies around. I think they're really excited about the warm earth out here, I think. But anyway, the flowered cross is out. It's a season of resurrection, and I hope that you're experiencing a sense of that resurrection promise as well in your life, however that might be. May the Lord be with you on the rest of this beautiful day, and we look forward to worshiping together on Sunday, however you might be able to join us. God bless you. Have a great week.